Denmark, 1 Canada.
November Delta 1 Charlie, roger.
November Delta 1 Charlie, roger.
Roger, roger.
All right, I'm copying you about 3 dB above my noise level. What is the name there, sir?
Copying you about 3 dB above my noise level. What is the name there, sir?
The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike.
Oh, I think I can handle that, Juliet India Mike. That's my name, so I can fathom that. And what radio are you running, sir?
I can fathom that. And what radio are you running, sir?
I'm running the ICOM 7610, and we set it up before, and we went in there, and you had my big treble all set for me, and we went in there to the drive and set it at 65%, and everybody was telling me it sounded like a champ until I got on 80 meters, and for some reason on that band, everybody says, oh, it sounds like it's got interference on it.
Gosh, I have no idea, you know, a setup should follow you through the bands. The only thing could be possibly that, I'm not real sure. Do you have full output, radio output at on 80 meters, 100 watts?
Output on 80 meters, 100 watts?
Right, yeah, it's everywhere. SWRs are good. How does it sound on 40? Sound okay?
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a great copy on you signal-wise on any of the internets. I went back to Rochester. I think you're about 2.5 dB above the noise level in Rochester, New York. What is your location, sir?
In Rochester, New York. What is your location, sir?
I'm near Daytona Beach, right by St. Augustine, Daytona Beach, right here on the northeast coast of Florida. And yeah, normally I guess the band's not cooperating. When I talked to you last time, you said it had a good signal, but it's I'm doing about 1,500 watts right now, so wow, conditions must really be horrible.
Yeah, I am hearing some kind of something there in your audio. It has to do with peaks, and it sounds like it might be just a tad dirty. I'm not real sure. What amp are you running, sir?
Sure. What amp are you running, sir?
It's Expert 1.5.
Repeat again.
Repeat again.
It's Expert amplifier 1.5K.
Roger. What's your drive to it?
Expert. Roger. What's your drive to it?
It's I guess it's very low. It's about 25-30 watts.
Roger. Okay, let's do a little experiment. Come down on your mic. Well, you can do a power out reduction. So take your power out down to where your amp is only doing about a kilowatt. Roger?
Is only doing about a kilowatt. Roger?
All right, let's see where we're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be right about there.
All right, I'm copying you probably about a dB and a half, 2 dB above Rochester's noise level. So tell me about your antenna system for a moment.
Tell me about your antenna system for a moment.
Okay, I'm running an off-center fed dipole, and I've got one leg of it up to about 75 feet, and the other end of it kind of floats down to about 55 feet. About 200 feet of feed line, and let's see, that's about it. The high power antenna with a 5K 41 balance going.
Roger. Okay, let's revisit peak, which would be quick to peak. Roger. Quick button to the left-hand side of your radio to drive. Peak to drive. Quick to drive. Roger.
Quick to drive. Roger.
Roger. I'm back in the drive. We took it last time from the factory default up to 65. But it's 65 right now.
5.
5. 5.
65.
All right, let's take it back to 5.5, and I think what might be happening, I think your amp may be maxed out, and then when drive accentuates the positive, the amp is kind of taxed to be able to respond to that. So let's take our drive back to 50. Drive back to 50%, Roger.
Drive back to 50%, Roger.
Factory default 50 that started at last time. 50, 50, 50. How about that?
All right, and then come back to your normal drive for that amp. Bring it up to whatever you normally run that amp at.
Bring it up to whatever you normally run that amp at.
There's the normal drive. The wattage is coming back up to where it was at. About 1400 right now.
Roger, and what is your drive level?
Roger, and what is your drive level?
The drive gain is at 50, and RF power is at 86%.
Yeah, what is that amplifier capable of, max out?
That amplifier capable of max out.
It'll go right about 1600 watts.
Roger that, roger that. Gosh, I'll tell you what, can you turn the amp off for a minute?
What can you turn the amp off for a minute?
Yeah, turn it back on. I can't even copy you without it. Turn it back on, Roger, Roger.
Okay, it's back on right now. It's back on. Yeah, 100 watts wasn't doing it.
Okay, what I'm hearing is it just sounds like overdrive distortion. Again, dump your amp off again, and let's see if I can copy you again. Okay, I can copy you at -5 on my local antenna, and it sounded all right. So come back with the amp again, and let me hear you now.
Okay, there we go, back with the amplifier. The amplifier is back on.
All right, it sounds like that you don't have any much frequency content in the audio other than mid-range. So let's see if we can add some lower frequencies to that. What's your EQ status on that radio? Wait a minute, let me just back up here just for a second. Is that the same microphone that we tuned on that radio with before?
Roger, it's HIO 781, the Papa Romeo 781. And the TX stage is set at -2, and the treble is +3.
Roger. Okay, so what I'm thinking that might be happening is you could be getting some RF back into your audio. It could be getting some RF back into your audio. What is your mic level setting right at the moment?
The mic gain is at 80% right now, 80.
Okay, and you're getting your normal power out on the amp?
Yeah, it's about normal right now.
All right, now this is a test that will see if you're even close to picking up some RF in your AF, and that is to take your mic gain. Now I don't want you to say anything, but I want you to take your mic gain from 80% up to 100% key, and then touch around your microphone. Don't talk, but just leave it keyed, and then touch around your microphone where the line cable comes into the microphone, and then around front. And what we're trying to do is see if we have any stray RF around the shack there, and if you do, you may pick up an oscillation when you move your mic gain on up 2 clicks hotter than what you normally will run it. That would indicate that there is RF lurking just below the situation. And then when you have it boosted up like that, then touch around the microphone to see if you can induce maybe some more RF into your AF. Roger.
Doesn't appear to be anything. I don't see anything on the scope. I went all the way around the connector and down the cable and around the microphone housing. I didn't see anything on the scope or notice any fluctuation.
Roger. What I am hearing is some distortion that it sounds like it's non-linear in nature. In other words, it just seems to be cutting out from time to time, not all the way, but slightly. So can you, let's see, let's run that amp. I got a better copy on you now. Let's run that amp back to where it's doing about 1 kilowatt. Just take your power out level down to where you're running about 1,000 watts on peak. Roger. Okay, and tell me about your antenna system.
Okay, like I was saying, it's a off-center dipole with a 4-to-1 balance. It's working fairly well, but when the noise is moderate, I've got a delta system you can try, that might help.
Okay, I come back up on power like normal. Bring her back to whatever you normally run on that amp.
Okay, there's full power output again, full power. It looks like it's fluctuating about 1400 right now.
Roger. I'm hearing some distortion regardless of what level you're running the amp. So I'm thinking that it's the radio. I'm not hearing it clear enough to when you're on barefoot to tell for sure, but it does tend to indicate that there is something going on with the radio. Now, what we might try to do is crank in a little more bottom end. You're pretty mid-rangey right now, so I would say, can you go to EQ and tell me what you got there?
All right, the bass is set to -2, and the treble is plus 3. And I've got my transmitter bandwidth set to wide, which is 100 to 2900 is what it says there. That's the maximum on my width, is 100 to 2900.
Yes, sir. Okay, and what did you say the bottom end was?
100 is the bottom. 100 is the bottom, and the bass is -2, and the treble is +3.
Okay, take your bass 2 clicks up hotter than what it is. Bass 2 clicks hotter than what it is.
Okay, there's bass 2 clicks hotter, which would be 0. That's the neutral position for the bass.
Yeah, I hear distortion in there, so I don't know what to tell you. Are you running your compressor?
Let me get out of the menu and I will tell you. The compressor is off. He sounds fine. He sounds like crap.
Oh, thank you, sir. You said your compressor is off?
Yes, sir. Compression is off.
Roger. Well, it's not major, but I do hear a little distortion there. So, but you sound better with a little more bottom end than where you were.
Okay. Yeah. And whatever the problem is, it seems to, like if I go on 20, nobody hears it. I go down to 80. I thought it was an antenna situation, so I would change the antenna. Right now I'm on a Delta boost, so it's a different antenna. So it doesn't matter which antenna I'm on. I tried a headset microphone. I've got a radio port headset. I tried that, and they seem to say it's the same.
Yeah, it sounds like it's right at the main frequency, and the main frequency sounds to be about 1.5 K, somewhere in there. That it just really feels rough at that frequency, and of course that's that your radio only has 2-band EQ, Roger.
Yeah, I used to run an EQ on it, and then after we did the setup, I took it off, and I was just running just radio, and I was getting rave reviews on it, and then when I figured things, I jumped on 8 meters, and everybody jumped all over me.
Roger. Has anybody said anything about it being too wide or anything like that?
No, have not heard that. I can go narrow if that helps, but I think that would cinch it up a little bit.
No, tell you what, add 2 more clicks of bottom end if you've got it. Let's see what we can do with a little more bottom end as far as to balance to that mid-range.
Plus 2 on the base, plus 2 on the base from 0. We just came from 0, now we're plus 2.
Roger. And what mic is that again?
PR781. Papa Romeo 781.
Roger. Okay, let's add 1 more click bottom end boost and see where that goes.
Okay, here we are with Hi-O PR781, TX bass plus 3 on the bass.
Okay, I would pull that one back out, so just plus 2 on the bass, Roger.
Okay, plus 2 on the bass, and our treble is set at plus 3.
Roger. I think that's probably about the best we're going to do. The other thing would be, do you still have the supplied stock hand mic?
Yeah, it would take me a little hunting to get that. It wouldn't be a really fast swap. It might be a next Friday thing, but yeah, I could probably retrieve that.
Roger. Yeah, we could eliminate the mic as having some problems by just switching to the hand mic. That is, that is an exceptional hand mic. Works well on the 7300 and the 7610. Just beautiful, so I mean everybody's in a rush to get those desk mics on there, but that hand mic just works beautiful. If you just pull it to your mouth and work across it, don't work into it but across it. But yeah, maybe next week we could play around a little bit with that and just see if the distortion continues after we have switched mics. Roger?
Switch over to the radio sport mic. It's that's also a IC mic, like the ICOM. I believe this PR781 is dynamic. Is that correct?
I think so. What is the other one? Electret?
All right, Jim. I don't know what just happened, but you just went in the tank that time. You were like 5'9", and you just disappeared.
Oh, Roger. Well, Mother Nature, she unpredictable. That's what makes amateur radio so interesting. You just never know what's going to happen from moment to moment. Roger?
That was lovely. I can change over to that other IC element on the other one really fast. I can be on there in seconds.
All right, let's do that. Go ahead and change mics and see what happens there. YEW, gosh, we're still trying to work with Jim down there in Florida, but you give me a shout. Give me your call sign right now, Roger.
It's Kilo Bravo 2, Yankee Echo Whiskey. Name here is Guy, Golf Uniform Yankee, and I'm in coastal North Carolina.
I got Kilo Bravo 2 Yankee, what?
Yankee Echo Whiskey.
All right, sir, next on the list. Let me wrap up with Jim down there in Florida.
All right, Jim, there's the other microphone. Is that any better or worse?
All right, this is KC9VKV in Qso with JIM-ND1C David 1 Charlie down in Florida. Jim, come back. What I want you to do is go to your ALC and make sure after you have switched mics that your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3 with the new mic. Roger?
Roger. It's at about, oh my God, that's hot. It turns back. Okay. That should be about mid-scale to 2/3 right there. How about that?
Okay, so we're still running the EQ, what was that, +2 on the bottom end, +2 on the top?
I believe we're 3 and 3. 3 and 3.
Okay, and tell me about your antenna system.
Okay, the antenna system is a high-power, off-center-fed 80-meter dipole. It's up 7 feet on the high side of it, and that's what we're running down here in Florida today. How's that?
Roger. Not much difference between mics, so I'm assuming that that one that you're running now and the other one are both dynamics. Roger.
Okay. Yeah, this one here says IC on it, and that's where the guy told me to order that one when I got it.
Oh, okay. So it is electret?
Yes, sir. This one is electric, and the 781, has the blocking capacitor in it for the voltage, and yeah. So I believe this is the same style of the OEM microphone.
Roger. Well, it's a desk mic, not a hand mic. Roger.
This one is a headset boom that I'm on right now.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I think it's. I'm just thinking about your bandpass. A lot of times we'll just suggest that you take all 3 of your bandpasses and put them in the 100 to 2900 reading, because that way you only want to run that radio in the 100 to 2900 mode. So if you put all 3 of those mode selectors in the 100 to 2900 mode, there's no way that you can operate it any other way than 100 to 2900. Roger?
Roger, yeah, I'll go in there and set that, because I'm looking, the wide is 129, and then the mid and the narrow are like 529. I'll go ahead and change those.
Yeah, just put them all 100 to 2900, Roger. You can do that later. I just wanted to be sure that we are in that upper bandpass 100 to 2900.
Yep, they're all set there. The compressor's off. There's on if that makes any difference.
Yeah, what we normally recommend is that compressor be on, but only at a 3. Compressor on, but only at a 3. And if you do engage that compressor, then you need to go back to your AOC to be sure your level is correct. Because anytime you make a change, like putting a compressor in and out, or changing microphones, all that stuff, you need to go back to your ALC just to verify that you are running mid-scale to 2/3.
Roger. That's at a 2. So it seems like the mic is way more sensitive than it has been.
Right. Well, that sometimes is an indication of RF and the AF, but I can't. Usually, what I've got, I'm running a little ART preamp on my condenser mic, and I'm running it probably at about 3 o'clock. Let's see, on the input control, about 3 o'clock. So I just, I can take that and turn it up to about 6 o'clock, which is probably about 15 or so dB extra gain, looking for RF in the AF. And as you increase your mic level from above the normal level, if you do have any RF lurking just in the shadows there, as you increase your mic gain, you will run into that RF and it will start an oscillation. That is the indication that you do have RF in the AF is usually uncontrolled oscillation. So, normally, like I say, I'm running at least 15 dB below max. But when I'm looking for RF leakage, I do turn it all the way up to see, and then I feel around the microphone to kind of add some influence of RF into the mic to see if there is any RF lurking. And so far, luckily, there is none on my situation anyway.
Yeah, it looks like it could be quite difficult to find. If I pause, I can see on the scope there's a little bit of something that is picking up, but I have no idea where it's coming from.
Don't know. I think we're probably about as far as we can go. Did you want to go back to your other mic on that radio?
Which one did you said they sounded about the same?
Yeah, this one might have just a little more articulation on it.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll continue to use this one if it's got more articulation. That's what gets you through the pileup.
Yeah, Roger. And I don't think, like I say, I think I do hear a little distortion, but it's not major. And, I doubt other people would even, except them guys down on 80 meters. And, if you drink enough, you can hear a lot of things.
Oh, yeah, and there's, never get on 80 meters during cocktail hour, because you can catch all kinds of activity down there. But, yeah, I try to keep everything running the best that it can go. You can see I've got new microphones and whatnot, and I'm not here to put something into it. It's just the problem is when you can't find it, that's so frustrating.
Roger, and it could also be in the amp. A nonlinearity in a amplifier could do the same thing as far as introducing distortion. But usually that is more related to peak distortion, in that the amplifier just doesn't have the wherewithal to continue in a linear fashion. So then it becomes nonlinear, particularly on the peaks. Roger.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. So I turned it down to mid-power setting, maybe running less amplifier. Maybe if you amplify dirty, you get more dirty, right?
Roger. I do hear less distortion, I think, in that mid-range. I'm not exactly sure why there would be so much audio in that. Sounds like in about the 1.5 to 2K range. It... right in that area that I noticed any distortion, if there is.
Well, we've narrowed it down that it's not in the microphone, because both of them have it. So now I'm really at a loss.
Well, next fallback position would be swapping radios, just out of curiosity. But maybe we do that next Friday, Roger.
Okay, yeah, I've got a 7300 that I use from time to time as a bug-out radio. Maybe I can throw that up on here and see what it does.
Roger, yeah, have both of them come up with the 7610 first, and then switch to the 7300, Roger.
Okay, yeah, and if it does that on the amplifier, then we know, hey, maybe that's the culprit. I'll go back and run through all the cables again. Everything appears to be okay, but you never know. But I won't hold it up. I know there's some guys in line, and I want to thank you for the great service that you provide to the amateur radio community, and I'll talk to you again, Jim. 7-3, November Delta 1 Charlie.
Roger, Jim, and we'll be posting this in the next 48 hours to YouTube. So if you want to go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page, and you'll be looking for a Qso entitled My Group Air Check 4/24/20, today's date. My Group Air Check 4/24/20. Roger?
Roger. Thanks, Jim. NT1C.
Roger, Jim. 3Z Waves, sir.